All right, man. My man, Brian Mayer, man. You know, one of the things that I was so excited was to tell this story. I'm glad you jumped on. I know you've been super busy. We are live, and man, you're harder to catch than a hummingbird, man.
Well, I'm almost as hard to catch as you, Michael.
Well, let's jump into this, man. You joined EXP. You said you're going to be 2 years. What, in March or April?
So April, and then my first deal was March 1st, I believe.
All right, so let's start here. You actually called me up. I got the text message, actually. You sent me a text message, and you said, Michael Reese, is this stock real?
Yeah.
Tell the story about, first of all, let's just start with the punchline. You know, why'd you send that text? What motivated you after, being with EXP for, over a year what did you do? Accidentally stumble and log in for the first time?
No, actually I did. So what happened was, when I started, I told you that I had, not a lot of interest in the stock. It wasn't why I was coming up to have it, but doing the math in my head, had the stock stayed, at the exact number I bought it at, it would not have been life-changing for me. So fast forward a year or whatever, and the stock had started to go up significantly. So I said, well, let me see exactly how much money it is. And at first I was blown away, but what happened was about a month later, I found out that 50% of my stocks was not even visible to me, because apparently in October of 2019, they switched from one stock company to another, and all the stocks that I had purchased up until October 2019 were with one shareholding company that I didn't even know existed. So somehow I ended up going into the world and saying, hey, is there other stocks out there? And they said, yeah, go to this website. I logged in and I doubled the amount of shares I had right then and there, and I was super pumped.
That's awesome. Then you sent me another text that said you bought your dream car, right?
I actually bought two, but yes.
Man,
I bought my wife one.
So,
and
man,
myself
first of all,
one.
let's rewind back to really what people are interested to hear. So you came to EXP. For those of you that are listening, most of the time when you're trying to. So I've always had a philosophy that, hey, everybody's coming in time. When I met with Brian, he had a very unique situation. And so it's not like me and you had a call one day and you just came over the next day. It was a process. And I tell people all the time that most of the time people regret. They say, man, I wish I would have come over sooner. Would you say that's a fair statement?
I literally had that conversation 45 minutes ago with a guy who signed up at EXP today. And he said, I wish I would have listened to you. Actually just had that conversation.
And so for you made the switch. You came over. Where's your market? Tell everyone you're in Maryland, right?
Yeah, Southern Maryland, about 60 miles south of DC.
Okay. And are you well, tell me about EXP and over your first 18 months. Just kind of give everybody kind of an update, based upon why you came over and what you've experienced so far.
Everybody comes over for a different reason, and it's important to know that. So the reason I came over to EXP was because my wife and I became somewhat successful in real estate very early, and we were not at a brokerage that could facilitate that success. And I was really struggling trying to find some help because it was, I was feeling frustrated. And I ended up going to a seminar that Jay Kinder was given in DC. And halfway through the seminar, I stood up and I said, where's the sign-up sheet? I want to catch the traffic. I'm just going to sign up and I'm going to leave. And I did. And then I felt like that the experience of the Kinder Reese coaching changed my life. There were some things that I learned about the listing presentation that made my life infinitely better at the time. I felt like it just saved my business in a lot of ways. So fast forward about a year, 2 years, and I was following this thing coaching program you were doing about being the dominant listing agent. So I was on that training with you, and you said, I have a business opportunity in your area. And I said, whatever the business opportunity is, I'm in. I just want to do it. I think that, I like to, Jay Kinder always says that he's not the smartest guy in the room, but he's wants to be sitting next to the smartest guy. So I don't know where I'm at, but That's how I'm looking at this situation right here. I said, if Michael Reese is going to partner with me at a brokerage, then I want in, and whatever it is, I'll do it. So, the reason why I didn't, I had prepaid all of my my cap at my other company for 6 months, and I didn't necessarily want to walk away with that. I was 100%. I didn't want to start over at 80/20 in the middle of the winter, but I wish I did. How much more stock would I have had at that, 4 or 5 months had I come over when you originally called me?
Well, hey, let's talk about this. So a lot of people don't know what the icon is. How close did you get to iconing? Did you icon your first year?
No, I missed it by 3 deals. And that was another situation where I wasn't paying any attention. And, I said, you know what? I wonder how close I am, just so I can sort of get.
Have you went back and done the math on how expensive that was?
No, but you could do it at, my anniversary is May 1st, 2019. And it was leading up that April, right? And I ended up having 2 of those deals push into May. There's nothing I could have done about it. But if I had gotten 16,000 of stock in April of 2020, it probably was somewhere around $20 a share back then. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So you came over. Why don't we just talk about what were your biggest? Well, I've never heard the story like that. Did you have any big concerns?
So I never did answer your question. I'll try to get back and answer your question. So did I have any big concerns? I think the biggest concern was I was the only agent in my entire market besides one other guy that was at EXP Realty. And it's kind of the fear of the unknown. And I tell people, when I'm recruiting today, I tell people it's a lot easier to recruit now that everybody, including Jim Cramer, is talking all about EXP Realty. When I started in 2019, nobody was talking about EXP Realty except for Inman News and Gary Keller and Michael Reese. And I said, well, that's something to pay attention to. So other than that, I didn't have a lot of reservations because the model made sense financially. So I thought even if it's just a brokerage, even if you just use it as a place to hang your license, I'm going to make more money. So worst case scenario, I make more money. And for some reason, I don't grow my business or I don't get the coaching I wanted, I'm still winning because I wasn't getting the value out of the brokerage I was at the time as far as helping me grow my business.
Gotcha. So as of now, it seems to me like, and maybe you feel differently, but it seems to me like it's a lot different today than it was when you first started. As far as people's awareness in the marketplace.
100 times. Like I was actually talking to a Keller Williams, the agent the other day, and another guy that just joined another brokerage he wants to recruit for. And I said, it's so much easier to recruit to EXP now than it was, but also than a lot of other brokerages. COVID had a lot to do with it. I was watching an interview from the old president of EXP he just did the other day. And he was talking about how COVID advanced EXP's sort of awareness 2 or 3 years. And I think everybody sees that, the virtual brokerage model makes more sense, and that the idea that some of these other brokerages are going to switch over, and then still keep the brick and mortar business and try to run a parallel business, it just doesn't make sense. If we're going to work from home, if we're successful at it, why not do it at the brokerage that was built on that platform that does it successfully, that doesn't have all the brick and mortars? You could sort of make that argument in a lot of different ways.
So what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited now about the opportunity to help EXP grow their business in Southern Maryland and bringing over other agents who should. I also feel like not only should I have come over a lot sooner, I feel like I should have been a lot more evangelical about EXP back when I was coming over, and I should have brought a lot of my friends with me. And I feel like they see that now, and I'm trying to let them know that they're going to feel the same way in 2 years. And I'm really excited about the rev share opportunity at EXP and helping them grow their business here.
Yeah, one of the things, dude, that I regret here, I had a friend come to town, and this was a guy that when we first came over, a really good friend. I like him a lot, almost like a family member. And, I don't remember when everybody joined, but we were, I don't know, on a golf cart or something, and he just rattled off. He was like, man, he had, dude, through stock awards, he had achieved like $1.5 million in stock. And I just remember thinking, like, all of these agents, I went across North America. I was giving these individuals a head start, flying to them, you know, and a buddy of mine, Al Stasic, went back and did the math. He did, you know, what he had contributed in the equity program. So one of the things that y'all don't know, what Brian's referring to, is at EXP, you can invest 5% of your earnings and buy the company stock at a 10% discount, and you can sell it and yada, yada, yada. And those, you know, those dollar cost average over time, and you kind of forget about it, right? But that was like a honey hole that you found. But more recently, you've had me on the phone with some big brokers. I know you have a huge broker that's looking at coming over. I feel like you've had me on a phone call every single week. And, you know, what people don't realize is you're not on the phone with them because, like, for the last 2 years, you've had me on the phone every single day. You had me on the phone with them because you're so enthusiastic. You actually feel like you're doing someone a disservice, because it wasn't the promise that was made to you. It's the actual experiencing of the promise. You know, whenever you get to EXP, if you don't, like, you hear different ways, different revenue streams, but if you don't experience them, you're not as excited. But that little stock thing just added up over time to where when you got hit with that value proposition and the promise that over time, when you signed up with that and it actually ended up being something, man, that lit a fire under you, and you were able to convey that enthusiasm to other people, almost as if, like, listen, you became like me. You became an ambassador of the brand, shouting it from the trees. It's not like you were a recruit maniac. It was just like, shoot, I'm just starting to tell everybody my story.
Yeah. And I would even say, Michael, even if it hadn't been for the stock, even if the stock had stayed flat, now that I've had more experience and now that I've sort of seen the model, and, you know, a lot of other agents have come over and I've had discussions with them to sort of reaffirm the thoughts that I had made. Because if I'm the only one over, maybe I'm missing something. But now that a lot of the big agents and teams have come over, we've started to have discussions. And even without the stock, there's just a lot of different reasons why EXP Realty's got a better model that I think other people would benefit from. And, you know, not to discount, I know not everybody can get super excited about coaching the same way they can about making millions of dollars in stocks. But at the end of the day, a lot of us like to sell houses. A lot of us are real estate agents. And if somebody can teach you how to do it a better way without having to rely on a broker who's 2 miles from your house, who may or may not have that level of expertise to be able to talk to Michael Reese about how to set a business plan, that to me is one of the things that I get excited about. Now, I know not everybody gets excited about the same things, but that's why I came over, and that's actually one of the things I'm still most passionate about.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, you've been doing a phenomenal job, and I can see, you know, it's no different than, like I said, for me, you know, there's a lot of people that are really good friends of mine that I've known for a long time, and I didn't, you know, it was a lot easier for me to talk to strangers. I mean, it sounds crazy. I'd rather talk to a stranger. Yeah, because, you know, I don't want them to. I'll be honest with you. One of my best buddies that I've known for my whole life, I never brought it up to him. And one day I texted him. It was this year, you know, and I've known this guy very well. And he texted me back, I think it's too late. What would you do if someone said, man, I think it's too late? What? I know what I said to him, but what would you say?
So here's what I feel like, and I'm not an expertise, and of course, but I feel like EXP is in the infant stage of becoming the biggest brokerage. I feel like that if you look at the business model and you're honest about it, and you try to just compare the different business models together, I feel like this business model is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And that at 45,000 agents, where we're projected to go, we're still in the infancy stages. And I think that even if you just come over just to make more money, most people will. Even if you come over to get the coaching opportunity, your business will grow. But I think the real opportunity is to help EXP grow from where they are now, which is a very small percentage of the market, all things considered, to where they're going to be. Let's just use this example. Keller Williams, the agents that got into Keller Williams in the very beginning and helped grow that business are millionaires right now off, and they're on a residual income. there's going to be EXP agents, the ones that get in now when we're still in the infancy stage, help them grow that business. They're going to be reaping the benefits of this in 3, 4, 5, 7 years, however long it takes for them to grow it. I'm only 42 years old, so I feel like I have a long time to help grow my downline at EXP Realty, and I'm pushing very hard right now because there's all the momentum and the excitement around the stock. And a lot of people, I mean, you said once a week, Mike, we did 11 calls in 2 weeks. I mean, we've been pushing really hard because there's the momentum, but I think that it's going to continue to grow. I do think that it's going to get more traction as more agents that are bigger agents in the marketplace come over. Other people start to see it, and then it doesn't become some, internet brokerage, whatever they call it, a pyramid scheme. It's like these guys are selling a lot of houses. They're making more money, and they also have multiple streams of income. It's kind of a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, for me, man, my experience has been, the top agents, a lot of them have already come in most markets. And a lot of people, I think it's disconnecting from their ego and saying, if I work, most people, I mean, an ego is very expensive. So is pride. And, I think that if you can do math and you can look at I think it's a math equation.
And I have this money.
What's that?
And you like to make money.
Yeah, well, I spoke to 2 people so I brought on a top producer. I mean, someone I truly respect. When I called this gal, I called her because she DM'd me and asked a question, and I was like, oh, I haven't talked to her in a while. I'm going to reach out to her. She knew nothing about it. This young lady has already put me on the phone with 2 other people that were kind of knew a little bit about it, but not a lot. And today, I had one of those calls. They all went phenomenal. They all were a 10. And I just think that people are completely misunderstood. And here's what's true. I did a call yesterday for a lady who just came over in the last 6 weeks. Her name's Kim, and Kim is bringing over a 30-person brokerage, 30 people coming over. I mean, it's done deal, right? But that lady had been reached out to 2 years ago. And so this lady says, hey, yeah, some guy sent me something 2 years ago. I haven't heard anything from him, right, but now she's interested. So there's a lot of people that have heard about it that now are getting interested in something. And what I'm seeing is they're getting re-engaged with the people who are now, sharing their story, who've come over in the last month, the last 2 months, the last 3 months. And so, it's not like there's people that haven't heard about it, but when you come on to EXP, there's going to be people in your marketplace that are just going to reach out to you because they're like, man, I've seen it here. I've seen it there. I feel comfortable just DMing this person. And next thing you know, you get a DM, and the next thing you know, you're truly helping somebody. Because listen, on the calls that I do with individuals, I do calls all the time. And on those calls, I start with talking about their production and their business. And then, it's after we talk about how we're going to help them produce. That's what people don't realize is, from our perspective is we've been coaching and training and helping people increase their personal productivity, getting leverage, the same things, grow a business. It just so happens that, growing your business on the right business model makes sense. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, right? A friend of mine if they watch this, they'll know who they are. They paid $250,000 for a domain. This is a domain that targets cryptocurrency. It was a Bitcoin domain. Yeah. And I went back and did the math because it was all in the newspapers. It's online. I know what they paid, $250,000. And I was like, man, if they would have put that $250,000 in 2013 into Bitcoin, I think that domain cost them about $43 million, right? Or whatever it is. It was pretty expensive, right? So they invested in this coin, this domain for this business opportunity versus, hey, if you feel so good about that, why don't you invest in the Bitcoin, right? In the cryptocurrency. And so again, they had the foresight. I think it was pretty amazing that they were really on to that movement early on. A lot of people sat on the sidelines, watch this crypto thing go, and everybody has their own opinion. But guess what? The people the people who believe, the people who do research, the people who go out there and understand the problems and the solutions and all those things, are that one thing is an opportunity for those individuals. EXP is the same thing. If you have a problem in your business and you do all the research and you come to the conclusion that this is something for you, and then you actually go like yourself and make the move, and it really does solve those problems, guess what you're going to do? You're going to tell other people about it. And the great thing about this company is they're going to compensate you for your contribution to helping the company grow, which, as you know, it just makes real estate fun. You know, it makes it fun. It makes it's all about creating opportunities that you didn't have before at your previous brokerage.
And I think you'll agree, Michael, that a lot of people were exposed to the idea maybe 2 years ago, and that it was infinitely harder to have that conversation 2 years ago. And, you know, reaching back out to those people, I think a lot more people, like you said, are starting to see that this is not a gimmick. It's not going anywhere. And the other thing I tell people is, you know, the stock market's going crazy. Why do you think the stock market's going crazy? Why do you think the people on Wall Street who are smarter than I am are putting so much into EXP? Why are they thinking we're so more valuable than these other companies? There's a reason why. And I think that having that conversation now is a lot easier. And, you know, I think there's a lot of big things coming up for us. You might be muted, Mike, or it's your internet or my internet. I can't hear you.
I said, what's the one thing you're most excited about?
Honestly, Michael, I'm the most excited about having other people know about this opportunity, putting them on the phone with Michael Reese, getting them into our group and into our club, and then helping them grow their business, getting them excited, and having them bring over the top agents in my market, and just really growing something special. That it's so nice to be able to just communicate with people across the internet. And you're in Puerto Rico, I'm here in Southern Maryland. You know, the internet has given us this opportunity, and to be able to kind of bring everybody under this idea of doing real estate together, I think it's awesome. That's what I'm most excited about.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, listen, this is my man, Brian Mayer. I've been wanting to interview him because I feel like if we could really go into the details of the numbers, you could just look at mathematically where it would have cost, if you would have just stayed where you were and did all the same production versus coming here, it would have been expensive, wouldn't it?
You know, the funny thing is, where I was at, I wasn't actually 100%. I was a 95% agent. Then after you make 150,000, you go to 98. So when I came to EXP, I said, well, I'm just going to take the same 5% I was already paying, and I'm going to just pretend that I'm just still paying it. And I bought EXP stock with it, and that turned into over $250,000. So, yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, well, guys, gals, if you're watching this, if you'd like to learn more about the partnership opportunity where we can help you with growing your business, helping you do that on a better business model, or you have any questions at all, feel free to go to partnershipdetails.com. Everything's there. We do have some amazing opportunities where we can help you with your business. All of that's at partnershipdetails.com. Brian, if someone wanted to reach out to you, how would they get a hold of you?
Just call my cell phone, 443-624-9398, and go to themayergroup.net/EXP. Learn a little bit more about the opportunity.
So 443-624, you said?
9398.
9398.
That's it.
So that's how you get them right there. If you want to hit up Brian, hit him up at 443-624-9398, or feel free to go to partnershipdetails.com. With that being said, thanks for your time, Brian. Everybody, we will either see you at the top or from the top. Y'all make it a great day.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, brother.